Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the California Nevada chat on this Friday, January 16th. We're so glad that you joined us and kicking us off for our first chat of 2026. My name is Nikki Gatch. I'm the Executive Director of the Southern California PGA. On behalf of our president, Dr. Allison Kurt, as well as our colleagues from the Northern California PGA section, President Nick Bailey and Executive Director Caitlin Doyle, welcome. We hope everyone had a great holiday season and that 2026 is off to a great start for you. We hope we once again have a great lineup for you. We thought, in addition to, of course, our legislative updates that we'll hear from Craig Kessler at the end of the hour, we thought it made a lot of sense to bring in some staff members from the PGA of America that Caitlin and I and our teams work with on a daily basis. And it'd be a nice reminder for all of you as to the resources and tools that are available to you through the PGA of America. So we'll talk about updates from a PGA education standpoint, mentoring programs, player engagement, and career services. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Caitlin.
Awesome. Well, good morning, and thank you, Nikki. And it's great to be with you all this morning. Hope you had a great holidays and are kicking off 2026 strong. I have the privilege of introducing our first speaker today, Todd Salmons from the PGA of America. Todd is the current director of education at PGA of America. He's been a PGA member for 33 years. Along the way, he's held positions of assistant golf professional, head golf professional, general manager, owner, and educator. He's been with the PGA of America Education Department for 18 years, helped design and implement the PGA lifelong learning strategy, and actually will be retiring next month. So we wish him well as he gets to retire on. And, thanks for all you've done for the PGA and for all of our associates and members nationwide. So, Todd, I'll kick it over to you. And I know you're going to talk a little bit about the new updates with the PGA program. So thanks for being here.
Thanks, Caitlin, and thanks for everybody on the call. It's been a great ride as far as my time with the PGA, and what I tell everybody is that it actually saved my life at a point where I wanted to watch my kids grow up. It afforded me the opportunity to be with them and teach and coach and all the things that I did with them. But we have been through a bunch of changes in the PGA PGM program. We changed it significantly back in 2023. The beginning of 2023 marked what we call PGM 3.1, and in PGM 3.1, the lineup is the same as far as they have to complete seminars, and the seminars at each level are 5 days, Monday through Friday. Level 1 is virtual, so they can sit in their office or at their golf club or at their homes and participate in the virtual level 1s. We have two of those going on right now, actually. We have 200 people that signed up. We split them into 100 in each one of the seminars because 200 are just hard to handle. And we have been with them all week, and so they do Monday through Friday as well, 8 to 4, except on Friday we do 8 to 3 and get them out a little early. Level 2 and level 3 are here in Frisco, and all three career paths: the golf ops, executive management, and teaching and coaching. And we'll run some of those simultaneously as well here in the building. So and most of those are filling up. Level 2 for golf operations, last week we had 80. And that's as many as we can take in the current situation that we're in our building. And then teaching and coaching, we also we limit those to 24 people in each one. So if you have some associates and assistants that are thinking about teaching and coaching, just make sure that they get signed up for what they want to well in advance, because they do fill. We have waiting lists for each one of them. And then executive management, basically we can take 80 in those, but I think the most that we've ever had is 40 in an executive management. So, but those are available as well. So the seminars, 3 levels, 3 seminars that they have to attend. They also have to go through coursework. That's the big difference in 3.1 and is different than the other programs. In 3.1, it's all online. So what they'll do is they'll go online and they'll go through the courses. They're very interactive. As they go through the courses, they will be stopped about every, I don't know, subject or so, and they'll have to answer some quiz questions. And it may be 5 questions, it may be 10. But what they have to do is get 100% on that quiz to move forward. If they don't, they can take it over and over as many times as they like. If they think that they need to go refresh themselves with content, they can go back through the content, take the quiz, move forward. Once they get through all of the coursework and the quizzes, that's basically it for the testing part of level 1, level 2, and level 3. And then other than the portfolio. So the portfolio, every level they have to do a work experience portfolio. There's in the golf operations career path, there's facility management, and then there's teaching and coaching in each level. In executive management, obviously, it's all executive management. It's all facility management and things of that nature. And then in teaching and coaching, it's all teaching and coaching. So a lot of lessons they have to give, a lot of videos and that they have to do, and they have to send in when they go through that portfolio. The level 1 portfolio, though, is the biggest change that we've most recently had. And that is the facility management part of the level 1 portfolio now is AI driven. So there's nothing that they have to submit other than when they complete the seminar, they're then eligible to complete the portfolio in level 1. And so what'll happen is they'll sit down, they'll have 72 hours in front of their computers to complete this. They'll be asked some questions in the different areas, in the different subject areas of the tournament operations, the golf car fleet management, business planning, and all of these different areas. They'll converse with someone, AI driven, and they go through it. If they pass, great. If they don't, if they have trouble with it and they don't pass or they time out, they'll get another 72 hours immediately following that. So they can take that. If they are not successful the second time, they're going to have to wait 72 hours before they even pick up and start again. So, but we've seen great success. It's 100% pass. There have been a few that have tripped up and had to redo it and take the second 72 hours, and they've all been successful. So that's the biggest difference right now in the program is that work experience portfolio. And we're happy to help any way that we can. I always tell every group that comes in here that, and even the level 1s when we get online, is that our proudest moment as a staff is when they cross that line and they get comma PGA behind their name. So we'll do whatever we can to help them get through that successfully. So having said that, mentoring is a big issue, not issue, but is a big part of this program. And it's not much with the content anymore because the content is right there in front of them and they take these quizzes, and once they pass the quizzes, they're on to the next subject. It's the portfolio. So what we ask is for golf professionals is to please, find opportunities or give them opportunities. They have to teach golf lessons. They have to film the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes of a lesson in level 1. And I think it's 3 lessons. They have to measure their clubs and things of that nature. Just please give them opportunities and help them through that part of the portfolio. And then in levels 2 and level 3, they're gonna go through subjects, and they need to know things like how food and beverage works and how that operates. There's a lot on leadership. There's things on labor laws and retail. Merchandising is a big part of it. Yield management. Level 3, supervising and delegating. How do you deal with people, and how do you deal with how do you make people exceed expectations with your members and with your guests at your clubs, whether that be public or private. And you know what, we all deal with issues. There are always people issues that you're going to deal with. It could be staff, it could be members, it could be people that come to play your golf course at the public facility. And how do we deal with things like that? Staffing is part of it. And I'll tell you, the biggest area that they need help in is with the financials. So we started this SPP program in the member area, and we would go out to these different sections. We've been to the Northern California, Southern California. We've been to pretty much all the sections across the country with this program. And the number one question that when we first started doing this, and this was with people that had been members for a long, long time, is can you help me do a business plan? And can you help me read a financial statement? And while it shocked us, we understood because what happened a long time ago when I got in the golf business, it was a build it and they will come type of scenario. We had so many people playing golf, and you didn't. All you had to do was count the money you were making. It wasn't, you didn't have to have these big financial plans and business plans and things of that nature. And things have changed over the years. So that's the biggest areas that we ask for help as far as mentoring goes. Now we do mentor internally. There's a mentor line. I'll leave that with you before I get off this call, but the mentor line number is 866-866-3382. And it's option number 6. And so when you hit those numbers, you'll be routed right here into the education department. We have 16 people out there that are answering those phones. We answer about 35,000 calls, emails, and texts a year. So call us. We're here to help. And we also have a mentor, PGM mentor at pgahq.com. You can email us as well. So any of those areas that they're having trouble with, anything that you want to know, we're certainly we can certainly do that. And we ask you again, as golf professionals and as associates that are going through the program, please work with your golf professionals. Golf professionals work with your associates and mentor them as best you can towards the goal line. And that's again, that's membership. And it's pretty cool here too, because we have, when level 3 associates come into the building, we have like a signing for all of them. We have a wall downstairs where they all sign the wall. And we ask them that at some point in the future, when they become a member, for them to come back in the building when they're in the area and put comma PGA behind their name. And it's pretty cool. There's a lot of them that have comma PGA behind their name down there. And it's really a great deal. One thing I did leave out, and I talked about the testing. When I talked about the testing, in level 3, after level 3, there is a comprehensive exam. And it's an exam over all 3 levels. And it's been the test scores are really, really good in the early going. I think we've had over 250 people go through it, and the average overall test score is around 90%. So they're killing it as far as that goes. And the reason they're killing it is because of the quizzes. They're going through these quizzes as they go. When they get to the test is 115 questions, and all 115 questions are a quiz question that they would have previously seen. So they would already have had the opportunity to answer those questions. So that's all I've got. And unless you've got some questions, I'm happy to answer questions, but I don't know what I think my 15 minutes is about up. So anything I can do, please. My email is tsalmons@pgahq.com for another 21 days. So 21 work days. So yeah, you can email me anytime and get in touch with me. My phone number will stay the same too, and it's 772-240-4204. And I'll keep that number, and you can call me beyond February 13th. I'd be happy to help any way that I can. But there's a lot of people out here that are willing and able here in our education department. So thank you.
Great, thanks, Todd, and thanks for that offer too. That's really kind of you to say that. Obviously, shows how much you care about the education department and our professionals, and that's pretty inspiring. About seeing them write their name PGA at the end. That's really cool. I didn't know that, so thanks for sharing that with us. Great. Well, thanks for being here, Todd. You're welcome to stay, or if you have to head out, no problem too. But I will introduce our next speaker today. So we have Junko Harkins. And Junko, many of you already know, but Junko actually serves both the Northern California section, the Southern California section, and the Aloha section as player engagement consultant. So Junko, take it away, and look forward to hearing some updates in the player engagement department.
Thanks, Caitlin, and thank you everyone for having me. Happy New Year, of course, too, and hopefully the new year's treating you well. I just wanted to take this time to quickly introduce myself for those of you who may not know me, but also just a reminder and been kind of working on this. So you're kind of my first guinea pig, but as far as like my elevator pitch and what people say, what do you do at the PGA? I am here to help our golf professionals turn their passions into or their passions for their game into lasting professional and personal success. So no matter what kind of position you hold at your club, I can support you with that. And I just wanted to share a quick story before I share some updates in regards to how I can do that. Is I've known a fellow PGA member for the last probably 8 years and been working with this individual pretty closely. Started out in the bag room or outside service and has made his way into a first assistant position at the club he is at. Yes, he's at a private club, but I just wanted to point out I've watched him grow, and as soon as he got into the golf shop and had an assistant golf professional title, he came to me and said, "What can I do to help grow the game and engage our membership?" And yes, he's fortunate that he's at a club where he can keep all of his lesson fees and things like that. But just again to share a quick story, he started out with junior league and just in the last even 2 years, he's made a total of $38,000 just in coaching revenue fees. So just a cool story to share as far as engaging with a PGA program, and you certainly don't have to. And but that's just a PGA program. On top of that, he teaches private lessons and does golf camps and things like that. So that is just a portion of coaching revenue that he's made. And through his success through programming at the club, he's eventually has made his way to a title of first assistant golf professional and has become a PGA member in the last few years as well. So I just find that it's cool to be able to support a golf professional from, their first stepping stones into the industry and finding career success, but also happy to share that this individual is now engaged, looking to buy a home. So just to be able to support that and see the success in that is something that I can really help with. This year alone, just with again PGA Junior League, he's anticipating and forecasting about 25 grand. Again, just in PGA Junior League programming. So there's a lot of opportunities out there as far as what we offer at the PGA of America when it comes to player engagement. We have a suite of products that you can use as a resource, and I'll name some of these that a lot of you are probably already familiar with, but the Drive, Chip, and Putt, PGA Camps, PGA Junior League, the National High School Golf Association, and the PGA National Collegiate Club Golf Association. And all of this is powered by PGA Coach, which I think a lot of you are also familiar with. PGA has created this PGA Coach platform that is used as a training tool, but also as a business tool. So I won't take deep dives into each of these programs, but please just know that whether you're all in with PGA programming or not, I am here to help support you find opportunities in doing any type of programming. But just please know that through the PGA, there's a ton of resources and there's a lot of possibilities of being successful, whether it's, for career goals or personal financial goals and things like that. Selfish plug here, currently PGA Junior League coach registration and program publication for 2026 is open. I did set a deadline for this past Monday for any programs that would like to be part of what we call a multi-facility league or travel league. So the deadline has passed for that. However, just please reach out to me if you have any interest. There's plenty of opportunities still, even if you can't necessarily get into a multi-facility league. I'm happy to work with you and to get your 2026 programming on board. So with that, that's really all I have. Want to be able to share the time with other presenters, but please reach out to me if there's anything I can do with help you and your facilities growing the game of golf and impacting your communities, because I know you're already doing that, but would love to hear more stories. Thank you.
Thanks, Junko. Thanks for all that you do for all of us. Hopefully we'll have another very successful 2026 Junior League season and see a national champion from either Southern California or Northern California. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our career consultant for the Southern California section, Michael Gainey. Michael, I see you're all buckled up, so we're ready.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Nikki. Yes, I'm on the road, headed to a stop this morning, a couple stops. But want to thank you all for the time on the call. Give you an update on career services and kind of a little bit about what I do. Right now, to start 2026, just looked at the job board, the PGA job board. There's about 40 positions posted on there. A good mix of things from director of golf, assistant pro, teaching positions, and so on. 2025 was a great year. Had a lot of time on the road, a lot of opportunities to meet and connect with so many golf professionals at their facilities. And I'm looking forward to this year to connecting to many that I didn't have a chance to see. So be expecting a call from me to set up some time to get out there and see you. Some upcoming things. We have the PGA show next week, and the career services team is going to be conducting some what's called range sessions, some 30-minute mock interviews. This was mentioned in a recent staff article that went out the last month, where me, Junko, and Morgan send out staff information about upcoming things. And I'm going to be sending out an email reminder to everybody over the next couple days. If you are going to be at the show and you have 30 minutes of time, you maybe want to brush up on your skills in terms of interviewing, have somebody look at your resume. This is a great opportunity to do that. So you'll see a link in the email where you can sign up. It's only about 30 minutes and encourage a lot of you to do that. To kind of tie into what was discussed about associates, one of the things that I'm working on to help the section is continue to help our associates grow in what they're doing, achieve their membership. And we're going to be promoting this Road to Pro event that has gone on before the last few years, and we're picking up steam again. San Diego chapter had some very successful events last year, and we're looking to have a minimum of one event, hopefully two a year per chapter. So last year, I've identified some locations and some facilities that are willing to host. We just are going to be setting up the dates and times, and as soon as we get that information, we will upload it to the section website. Another thing, us consultants, we're out in the field, we're making relationships with all of you, and we're supporting you in your career journey. So anything that we can do to help you along, whether it's looking for a job, if you're an employer and you're posting a job, if it's education related, one of the fun things that we get to do is connecting people. So if we have the opportunity to connect an associate with a pro that's, let's say, really good at financials, or if you're a pro and you're running an event and you've got a question about something maybe you haven't done before, we can connect you with somebody that has experience in that. So a lot of conversations are had, and we're happy to connect you with the right people as you go along your career journey. One of the really important conversations that we get to have centers around compensation. We all know that's a big topic. Things are expensive. Housing costs are expensive. Everything across the board is. And we want to make sure that all of our professionals are paid appropriately. One of the big asks that we always do each year at all the meetings is asking all of you to update your compensation profile. That's a really important tool for us consultants. When we get calls from employers that are asking us about compensation and making sure that they are in the right range in terms of what they're paying their staff, we're able to pull on some reports that we can provide to them and have those important conversations on your behalf. So what we ask is that all of the members of the section, associates and PGA members, take just a few moments to log onto your account, your PGA account, get on your dashboard, and go to the compensation profile and update it. You can update it a few times a year. Anytime that you have a review and a change in compensation or anything like that, be sure to update that. And that's going to give us the most accurate data so we can be sure the compensation is continuing to grow. Other than that, like I said, if anybody's going to be at the show, I look forward to seeing you. Please reach out if you want to set aside some time. And I'm going to pass it off to the next presenter. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Thanks for all you do for us here in SoCal and for all of our members and associates. Drive safe. With that, we will wrap up with Daryl Fucano, the career consultant for the Northern California section. Daryl?
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, everyone, for having me this morning. Happy New Year to you all. everybody took everything that I was going to say. So my counterparts in front of me, I'm going to echo everything that they said. Really, what we are here for is to help all of you guys, the members and associates, serve the members and set you guys up for success. I can't stress enough how what Michael said about helping the other professionals out in our sections, filling out the compensation report, is paramount to helping us, and not only you, but all of your other professionals in the sections to increase revenue and increase salaries for all of us. Again, what we do on a daily basis, and we're going to be doing at the PGA show, resume review, cover letter review, professional portfolio review, interview prep, things like that that can help you guys for, and again, set you guys up for more success in the future for, for your careers and where you want to take your positions in the future. Kind of a funny thing, we were talking with Todd before this call, and Nikki said that Todd elected him to membership, and I believe that Todd elected myself to membership as well about 17 years ago. So great career for Todd, and really happy for him in his retirement. Just want to echo that again. But the education department is truly also here to help you guys out, and a few things that we've got going in Northern California to also help you out. We also have a mentorship program for the associates, and I encourage. Again, it's a little bit different than the mentor hotline that Todd was talking about, but our mentor program is here to kind of give everybody, kind of a soundboard to keep you guys on task if you're an associate, to keep you on task and get you going through the program. And sometimes it's tough. Sometimes it's hard to talk to maybe your boss or maybe your head professional about struggles that you may be having. But both sides, it's a great way to stay connected with the associates and get them through the program. But then also, from the member side, again, helping somebody out, paying it forward a little bit. So we have a lot of mentors as of right now, and we need some mentees. We need some associates that are willing to kind of take a step out there and ask for help. We also have, Michael mentioned, for SoCal, he has Road to Pro. In Northern California, we have the Associate Accelerator Program, which is very similar to what Michael and the crew are doing down in Southern California. But really, the Associate Accelerator Program here in Northern California, again, is helping the associates get through the bookwork, the portfolio reviews, the videos that Todd was talking about. Those it's been a traveling roadshow. We've had a couple of those events. We're going to have more for 2026, so be on the lookout for those. But those associate accelerator programs are a great way to get those associates on task and get them through the program and get them ultimately elected to membership. But here to help as always. I'm just a phone call away. The career consultants are local, so a lot of times people think that the career consultants are based out of home quarters in Frisco, Texas, but we live and we're in the thick of it in our sections, so always happy to help. Thank you, Nikki.
Thanks, Daryl. Appreciate it. Thank you all for sharing everything that you do for all of us, for all members and associates of these two sections. It's wonderful, and I think it's just a nice reminder of, again, all the resources and the tools and the people that we have available to us as PGA members or associates. We've seen, we have more members in this section than I think we ever have, at least in my time, and I would venture to say probably close the same for Northern California. We've certainly seen an influx of associates over the last couple of years, which is wonderful. More people are wanting to get into our game, more people are wanting to get into our industry, and we continue to provide services and assistance to help them through their journey to become a PGA member, and then throughout their career. So thank you all again for all you do for all of us. We really appreciate it. We know you're accessible all the time for our members, so we appreciate that very much. And with that, Mr. Kessler, how about a legislative update to kick off 2026, please?
Well, Happy New Year to everyone first. And second, seeing that there were four guests in front of me, I thought I may have 5, 6, 8 minutes and deal with one subject at the best. But I'll do my best to fill some of the time. But I understand, I've been told that you get all the credits if I sign off early. So we may just be signing off a little bit early today, just so that I can tell people, so that you can tell everyone it can happen and it did happen and you were witness to it. So again, Happy New Year. We are in, since the last time we spoke, we are now in a new legislative session here in California. This is the second, for those who don't know, we actually have 2-year legislative sessions, and this is the second of the 2-year legislative session, which means that those bills that either got pulled at the last minute because they weren't going to get a floor vote or they needed a last minute amendment or for one reason or another by their authors can be heard in this month and go forward in this year's process as 2-year bills. But they need to get through their committee or committees of reference. They need to get through appropriations and get through successful floor votes by January 31st. And I point this out because that means in a year like this, which is the second of the 2 years, we're seeing far fewer new bills drop. They will dump on us as soon as all the business clears of the 2-year bills. And that includes the bill that the California Alliance for Golf is going to run. We've been working with Ledge Council and we've been working with the requisite Assembly Committee on the language. It deals with creating a cause of action for tea time brokering. I'll leave it at that. I'm not necessarily going to call it reselling. So that would require that all of those arrangements, and there are many which operate by agreement, Golf Now, Supreme Golf, there are lots of those, and those are agreements of mutual benefit that are business to business between two consenting adults or two consenting partners. We're not touching that. Those are just fine. It's those that are unauthorized or by unwritten agreement. We're pretty excited. We believe we have an excellent author. We have a lot of support from particularly municipalities that have been badly hurt by tea time brokering, where money has simply disappeared from their systems, hasn't gone to them, hasn't gone to the golf course, hasn't gone to the benefit. And as some of you may know, a couple of them, according to the federal government, made somewhere between 700,000 and 1.1 million in a 2-year span, brokering 17 fairly low-cost municipal golf courses in the county of Los Angeles, and which was perfectly legal. What was not perfectly legal was they didn't declare it, they didn't pay taxes on it. So, and I mention this because it confirmed something that I got a lot of question on. Is there really that much money in this? Is it really worth going down it? And I sensed that there was, but if the federal government believes it can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they made that kind of money with very limited overhead, and I'll just leave it at that, then of course there is real money in that, and that is for a variety of reasons really harming golf at its most elemental level, at the developmental level. So with that, we have to wait probably a couple of more weeks to get that and share that with you. And we believe we have the support of major municipal governments in this state, and that will help us because they're a lot more influential than the golf industry is in that regard. In terms of some of the things that we've kind of anticipate, whether it's those things dealing with non-organic, restrictions, and another standard time bill, and the kinds of things that occasionally that tend to crop up and bedevil us from year to year. We haven't seen any indicators of those, but then again, those bills may be held back because of a 2-year rush, because of the rush at the beginning of a 2-year session. We'll watch out for those. We'll deal with those. We're excited that really this year we're going to do something proactive to try to explain to persons that advocacy is not just about swatting things down in defense. It's also about using the organs of the state to rectify, to equalize, to make things more equitable. And it's probably an indicator, and it's hard to understand this unless you've spent time in Sacramento year after year for at least 10, 12, 15 years, or however long I've done it, in the sense that some years ago it was, who are you and what are you doing here and when are you going to leave the office, to recognition of all the things, that the positive impressions that golf has left with legislators, with assembly committees, with staffers. They seem to know our record. And I'm proud to say, because we've conducted ourselves very transparently and intellectually honestly, I think we've left a good impression, and that's probably more important in the long run than any one particular bill or amendment or any of those kinds of things going forward. So I think maybe by the time we do this next one, I'll have a little more to explain, both of the positive nature in terms of the bill we're running and maybe some of those negative things that always come up every session. At the beginning of this year, it's sort of the dawn. We're in the first couple of weeks of a new arrangement whereby something that's, I think everyone has understood, is a little bit de facto, that the SCGA has always played a disproportionate role in the statewide advocacy efforts. We've kind of codified that or institutionalized that into an agreement where the SCGA is undertaking, per a very specific agreement on behalf of the board of directors of the California Alliance for Golf, adding certain of its departmental functionality, not just the dollars that it sends to the collective, but also the prescribed willingness to dedicate some of its functions, some of its departments, certainly its public affairs department, but some others as well. And that's a work very much in progress. And, obviously both Nikki and Caitlin are on the board of directors. Nikki is an officer of the California Alliance for Golf and is very much intimately involved in drafting that particular agreement. Now, the one thing I'm going to discuss a little bit, it's not necessary, it's not legislation, it's not regulation, but it's a veritable, it's a literal or a veritable sort of Damocles hanging over the head of the golf industry in the Southwest, particularly California and Arizona. And that is, this is the year of decision for the Colorado Basin. A river that was over allocated when it was originally allocated 104 years ago in 1922, but that didn't matter because no one ever could use couldn't use the allocation, because in 1922 Arizona had been in the Republic had been in the Union for 10 years. Las Vegas didn't exist. Greater Phoenix area didn't really exist. California was a significant state in 1922, but it's a lot more significant and large, agriculture and otherwise, and particularly with urban population today, than it was 104 years ago. And the Colorado Basin is drying out. It's warming up, it's drying out, it's producing less snow, it's producing less runoff. And in the last, roughly 25 to 30 years, there have been a lot of short-term ad hoc arrangements, and usually voluntary, among the 7 states of the compact. And they're broken up into 2. The 4 upper basin states are very different from the 3 lower basin states, of which California is one, along with Arizona and Nevada. And the lower basin states have been using more of the water, something the upper basin states have been pointing out in all the negotiations. But nonetheless, Denver wasn't what it was 104 years ago to what it is today. So, and in a strange way, it may seem odd when you think of the Rockies, you think of Denver, you think of the cooler climates and so forth. They've had serious water problems for a lot of years right now. So it's not just something that's unique to the sort of semi-arid regions of Arizona, California, and southern Nevada. So when I say this is the year of decision, the states have been meeting for a long time now to come to a new agreement at the end of 2026. And it hasn't been, those meetings have not been very agreeable. There's a lot of pessimism involved. The states are not aligning. The upper basin states are drawing some firm lines, and the southern basin states lower basin states drawing some firm lines. And here's the issue. Today, actually, is the beginning of a 45-day comment period that the federal government has put out an environmental impact statement on, outlining 5 options that they're putting forward, one of which they will select and implement at the end of this year if those 7 states can come to an agreement among themselves. And I'll simply say that no matter which option that you take, except the no option, which is part of the Environmental Quality Act, it's kind of meaningless. Arizona and California get hit badly. And I want to emphasize whether you have access to the Colorado River or not, makes no difference. Water is water is water. It all goes into one big sink and it's usable on that basis. So I'll just cite something from an agenda item at the Pasadena City Council last week. And it was a water item dealing with maybe in the short term, given all the rains, exploiting some groundwater. And it points out that yes, Pasadena has no access to the Colorado River, but it's dependent for its imports on the State Water Project, and they buy their water, their imported water from the Metropolitan Water District, which imports it from the State Water Project and the Colorado River. Less water from the Colorado River means less water that's left over from the State Water Project. Same thing in the Coachella Valley, which is not hooked into any of those. The golf industry, one of the planks of its strategic plan for the last 15 years, has been to make its contribution to bringing the aquifer into a state of replenishment, which we've done in the Coachella Valley, by weaning themselves off of groundwater in favor of connections to the pipelines that bring in raw water from the Colorado River. Well, that's no longer going to be unlimited. And even on a temporary basis, the Coachella Valley Water District has stopped replenishing some of the spreading grounds on a temporary basis that they can do, but that can't go on forever. And nobody knows, and here's why I say it's a year of decision. Nobody can tell you, including those who are negotiating this, what the givebacks are going to be, exactly what the allocations are going to be, exactly what the impact is going to be. So while it's wonderful that we're reading in the headlines that because of all the heavy rains, we're 100%, nothing in California is under drought, but also point out that the snowpack has not been that great. And one of the features of a warmer, drying climate, which we call aridification, I love that word, is that the precipitation that falls, because it's warmer, more of it is in the form of rain than in snow. And snow is the way that we built an entire infrastructure in the 20th century for water conveyance, because snow sits and it melts slowly and can be captured. Rain that comes down in torrents, particularly in those things that we call atmospheric rivers, we lose most of it to the sea. Now, to the credit of some Southern California, particularly the county of Los Angeles, where the voters by 71 or 2% margin determined to tax themselves in order to create an infrastructure that would capture more of that stormwater so they could use it to replenish spreading grounds, aquifers, and just literally as a recycle source. And San Diego County's done some different things. Particularly with desalination and other things that are particularly suited to their climate and their water supply circumstances. That's all good, but still, this is something that's slowly unfolding, and it's a backdrop to the golf industry. And when you read things, for example, as bad as we thought the city of San Diego's decision not long ago at the end of 2025 to over the next 2 years raise by 31% the cost of the potable water. We now have a report that says it needed to be closer to 44% in order to pay the cost. So as the supply goes down, the cost goes up, the allocations become unknown. I'll simply say that it's incumbent upon everyone who works in the golf industry to recognize that long term, maybe not always short term, it remains in our interest not only to put forth, obviously not just to put forth a public relations narrative about being an efficient outdoor irrigator, about doing all the things in terms of turf removal, turf replacement, which is increasingly relining lakes, all those things that I think allows an impression I get in Sacramento that golf's a very efficient and very responsible outdoor irrigator. You need to continue ramping that up. If for no other reason, you need to reduce the water that you purchase in order to pay the bills. I mean, it becomes increasingly that way as well. So those are kind of the couple of things I would say at the opening of 2026 to keep in mind. Yeah, we have a legislative session, and in a funny sort of way, we may not see as many what I would call troublesome bills as we've seen in the past. maybe because we've been successful in amending them more to our satisfaction, and in a few cases when they were just odious, defeating them. And maybe because of the impression, maybe because of the bills that we've also supported and will continue to do those things, that impression goes up. So we may see less of that and may be able to play a little bit more offense on behalf of the industry in 2026. And that's all good news. And then the bad news is that Mother Nature is not really cooperating with us. And there's going to be a great deal of costs also associated with sort of taking a 20th century water capture and conveyance infrastructure and delivery structure that made beautiful sense, but it doesn't altogether make sense in the 21st century. So keeping in mind that as a sector that buys a lot of water, you need to be constantly mindful of doing those kinds of things. Quite honestly, it's in our interest to spread those things over the collective than to repose all of those financial responsibilities on ratepayers. So those are kind of, the good news, and I'm very excited and I'm very encouraged by the reception across the board that this notion of really for the first time in the United States, unless New York beats us to it, and I doubt that they will, that'll be something with all of the fact that the National Golf Course Owners Association conducted a extra day called a Tea Time Summit in conjunction with their big meet, with their TechCon, biannual TechCon last fall, with all the focus on that and all that you've read in the headlines, that we're actually going to be able to do something in the law in California, so that when cities, particularly in the municipal systems, when they've had these folks laugh at them, that maybe this time they can say, you really do need to cease or desist. We might consider legal action, and now we can take that kind of legal action. So that's a bit proactive. With that, if I've raised any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And otherwise, that's what I had to share with you today. And in the spirit of the other speakers who shared with you what they had to share and then got off the stage, I'm going to do that. And if Nikki doesn't need smelling salts, then I will simply say it's 10:46. And unless there are any questions, I think I'm done.
Bravo, Mr. Kessler, bravo.
That was perfect, Craig. Thanks for your report, and you definitely filled some time, so that certainly helps. But appreciate all you do for us, and thanks for the update today. So that's it today, folks. You get 10 minutes back of your day. So thanks for being here this morning, and hopefully you have a great weekend. Keep in mind, if you did call in, please let your section office know, and we will report the PDRs for that. Our next chat will be on February 13th. And so look out for that. Right now, we're still working on a speaker for February 13th, but look forward to being together then. And then if we are going to the show next week, we'll look forward to seeing you there as well. So, Nikki, do you have any other closing remarks?
No, just thanks to all of our guests today. Thanks for all the information. Thanks to all of you for joining us today. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and weekend. And for those of you attending the PGA show, we'll see you there.
Take care.
Thanks so much.